I remember my favorite thing to do in the daycare center was sign up for the computer area and then hold a magnet to the monitor and destroy the monitor. Me and my shit had friends.
That is all you need to know about you as a human being. Is that as a baby, basically, what you loved, what you spared, your hobbies were destruction and ruining other people's fun.
Fucking hold a magnet to the screen. And then, no shit, I swear to God, blame it on the retarded kid. There's a retarded kid named Victor. I'll be like, Victor did it.
That is
he
hitting
drooled
for
on the fucking computer screen and broke it.
That's incredible. That's hitting for the Mullen cycle, dude. That's doing everything.
Yeah.
Trolling, vandalism, blaming the retarded,
bullying.
There was this kid, Matt, and he was obsessed with Titanic, and then he built a tent in the corner of the room.
What do you mean on the retarded?
Yeah.
What? This fucking poor kid.
I mean, they knew it was me.
Yeah.
But fuck. So this kid Matt built a tent in the corner of the room out of like blankets and shit, and he like propped it up, and then he brought this girl who was like 3 years younger than him into the tent.
Oh no!
And I guess they were playing Titanic in there.
Oh no!
And this one
he
kid
drew her like one of his French girls.
This one kid he peeked his head in there, and then he comes out looking like a ghost. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but he goes, he was like, oh. He like looked shocked, and me and my friends were just watching this happen. And he goes up and tells the teacher, like this, the counselor John, he says something to him, and John's like, drops everything and does that like walk where he's, of speeding up
with
the entire time.
Yeah.
It's just the variable speed of him like fucking increasing. How is he at that tent in like 3 seconds, and he looks in there, and then he just rips that fucking kid out of the I don't know what the fuck he was doing there.
Oh no.
But he ripped that kid out of there. So I'm assuming he was like, molesting that girl or something.
Jesus, dude.
That's hilarious. Just like in Titanic.
Yeah, I know. And
I was really hoping for a wholesome turn.
No. It doesn't make what I was doing with the computer sound so bad now, does it? I was just learning how magnets work. It must suck to be molested.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's definitely something I wouldn't know anything about.
Did you get molested?
No, not really. An older neighborhood kid.
I thought that
like,
kid in your neighborhood.
Sort of, yeah. But is that like really molestation?
What happened again?
An older neighborhood kid was like, "Let me suck your dick." Yeah,
and he did suck your dick.
Yeah.
Nah, shut up.
No, yeah.
I guess that counts. That counts. Yeah, you've told me this before.
It counts.
Yeah.
That 100% counts.
Well, no, it's because it's like he was getting molested. I feel like that's stolen valor. That's like if a guy came back from Iraq and punched me in the face, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm a veteran."
You just sound like when they found out Vito was sucking the security guard's dick, and not he was getting his dick sucked by the security guard.
No, you did get molested, but it is
you got molested.
It is the softest kind of rape.
It was a kid that was like maybe 3 years older. It's not like I mean, he was probably he
probably got molested.
He was being molested.
Yeah.
By you?
No, not by me.
Oh, by somebody else?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, it never fucked me up.
No, but you were like, it was pretty.
You up. The most well-adjusted person I've ever met in my life.
He's lived a normal life.
Nick saying it never fucked him up getting his dick sucked when he was 12 by another guy.
After you talk about like the 3 years you spent drinking a 30 and playing Call of Duty.
Everything's going exactly
Every single day.
This is the best your life is going. It's the most you're depressed.
Yeah.
If some guy started sucking your dick and just fucking make
well,
you play
how about
video
this?
games.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, hell yeah.
My mom like worked with this lady, and like I would have to hang out with her son sometimes, and he was like a dick. He was just fucking mean to everyone, bullied everyone. But when it wasn't directed at you, it was the funniest shit in the world. Yeah. And I may have told this story already, but there was one time we were in his basement, and his like sister had this like, I guess it was like a fucking antique dollhouse that kind of like opens up, and he had a crowbar, and I don't know how he started.
I remember this story. It's awesome.
He's like, oh no, what's going on in this room? Smashing out all.
Did he go to jail?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that was like I didn't see that guy after I turned like fucking 10, but the mental image of that guy destroying, and I'm like, I can't inhale. I'm laughing too hard that my fucking larynx is seized while he destroys, because what's coming is an hour later his sister going down there to play with the dolls.
Oh my god, that's so mean.
Scream. She realizes what he did. And then she shows their mom, and then you just hear her like screaming his name, and he goes, "What?" What? God!
I was playing with it.
I don't even know. Ask her. She fucking probably did it. Oh, fuck. A classic.
Destruction of property.
Yeah, just punching down as hard as you can. Just fucking punching down like you're driving Excalibur into the stone. Fixing comedy.
Mm-hmm. With that guy. Mm-hmm. Let's get him a fucking special, dude.
Dude, I would watch that. I would watch a show that's just a bad kid that fucking just hurts people's feelings.
Honestly, I would love to watch
it. It's called Bad Kid.
Yeah, just an 8-year-old with emotional problems.
Yeah.
It's like pulling the fire alarm.
Ugly.
Just fucking raising his hand in 3rd grade and the teacher calling on him being like, I heard you got raped over the weekend. I walked past the teacher's lounge and I heard that you were raped on your date. And the teacher's just like glory, a single tear going down her face. That's not appropriate, Derek.
Derek, go to the office, please.
Derek, go to the office.
Stop telling me I got raped, please. Derek, every weekend you tell me.
Okay, I'm going to go to the office, but I'm going to be laughing about you being raped in there. Just the shittiest kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a show called Shitty Kid.
Shitty Kid is a great show.
Oh, fuck.
Did your husband break off the engagement because you're
fat? Your husband left you because you're fat. If we're cutting and pasting, are you gonna cut your wrists and eat pastries because you're fat and your husband left you? I'm just asking. Yeah, that would be a perfect show.
It would be.
Did you ever no plot? Nothing happens.
It's a reality.
It's that one kid from Summer Heights High.
Jonah.
None of the other characters.
Yeah, his dad never comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another good one would just be to have just a class of just killers, just like these horrible kids, and a different substitute teacher every week. Yeah. That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Did you guys ever see a teacher cry?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the multiple times in school.
One time, my brothers went to a shittier middle school than I did. They weren't smart enough to get into the only good middle school in Baltimore. There was you had to test out of the public schools.
It was a magnet school.
Yeah, there were 3 okay schools. One was really good.
It's just that your parents didn't tell you that it was the only school with a cafeteria that could accommodate you. Your son qualifies as a disabled person because of his weight.
Dude, honestly, I would have loved to get chosen to the school with the best cafeteria.
Yeah.
Our cafeteria wasn't even that good. Anyway, it was the school was fucking like a bad school. Like the one kid got stabbed for his Charizard when people were still doing like Pokemon cards and shit. And one of the teachers was pregnant, and there was 2 girls fighting, and she was like, "All right, stop." And one girl got pushed into her stomach, and the teacher she was pregnant. The teacher just knocked her out cold. She just straight uppercutted a 6th grader.
Defense mechanism.
It was awesome.
You can't help
it. Such a good story.
The limbic system in action. The parasympathetic nerves.
Oh yeah, I got a limb
innervate the systems.
Oh yeah,
got something very.
Look,
limbic.
there's your parasympathetic nervous system, and nobody knows what this thing does. You put your hand on a stove, and next thing you know, me and Barack used to talk about it all the time. Remember Pogs? You used to be able to collect them, but if you didn't have enough, they'd send you to jail. And I was one of the first guys that said that we should only be arresting the black kids. Vice President Biden, do you have a can you answer the question, please? Oh yeah, it's Monday. No, it's Thursday, but the
That was not the question.
The question was about the deficit.
I had a teacher in like 9th grade, Spanish teacher, who was like the first semester.
What'd she teach?
Spanish.
Oh, interesting.
Oh no, she was a white woman, but she taught Spanish.
Oh, regular Peggy Hill.
Yeah. So the first semester we had like a Mexican guy from Mexico teach, and she went down to Mexico and she taught there.
Can someone reach the pencil sharpener for me?
He rocked, dude. He was great.
Hey,
Like,
can one of you reach? Can one of you do the pencil sharpener for me, please?
he had no notion of like cheating. Like people were. It was just a fucking free for all in his class. But then she came back the second semester, pregnant, and
Oh shit.
there was one day where we were like really off topic, and then she was like, something happened. She started crying, and she's like, "I'm 32. I'm single, and I'm pregnant, and I lost my." It was my first time. So
Excuse me, bitch.
yeah. So she said,
Excuse me.
Yeah,
I have a question. Is it your fault that the baby died? No, Jonathan, it's not my fault. Because I walked past the teacher's lounge and I heard Mr. Miles say that it was your fault because you're a
bitch and you were smoking.
because you smoked during the pregnancy, because you smoked cigarettes in the parking lot and you were fucking drunk. Is that what happened? Go to the office.
Go to the
Jonathan.
office. So wait, hold on a second.
so basically, she went down to Mexico to teach, got knocked up by some Mexican guy that I guess like, and then she's like, I'm going to keep the kid.
Yeah.
And he was
Because she's like,
I'm sorry I came at you.
and he was like, Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I
Yeah.
came at you immediately.
and yeah, she was Mormon, so she'd never had sex.
Oh my god.
And then she
More
like,
men, more like more women.
Yeah, that's
'Cause you
right.
can have multiple
So
wives in
true.
that religion. Look,
that's true.
I went to Utah and I met some of these people, and they told me that Mickey Mouse, his name used to be Jonathan. They didn't even know he was a mouse. He was just supposed to be a black fella with big ears. And that's it used to be black fellas. They all had big ears back then. That's why you could holler at them from across the street. People don't do that anymore, but they kept screaming. And now every time I go out, I can't. As I see a black guy, I start yelling across the street like this. And it's so Russia is a similar thing. Because you got guys over there cutting coupons.
Goes back to the And then the next year, I had this English teacher that
Wait a second. Okay, was this lady hot?
She was not.
She was okay.
She was not that busted.
Yeah.
I would say,
She
but she
just
wasn't hot. No,
She just never got her pussy filled before.
she was a little bit overweight. But she kind of had a pretty
Is it
face.
possible that you're just fat and not pregnant? Excuse me? Excuse me, ma'am?
Derek,
Ma'am!
Just go to the office.
just Derek, she's
I'm
crying.
not answering. Just go to the office.
Derek, she's crying. She opened up to us.
Can I have 50 cents for the vending machine on the way to the office?
No, Derek.
Can I have 50 cents for the vending machine in the teacher's lounge?
Derek, I keep lending you money.
Can I have the key to the teacher's lounge so I can get a fucking Minute Maid?
The next year,
I'm not trying to cuss. I just don't know. I'm mad. And if I had a Minute Maid, maybe I'd fucking feel different, bitch. He's 6. He's in first grade.
They'd put my man straight up in special ed. He's just a rude kid with a bunch of retarded kids.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the behavior kids
Yeah.
going to special ed, which are the worst kids to be around retards. The bad behavior kids.
Really,
It's literally the worst kind
They're
of
like
kid.
prison rapists. You're putting those retards in Jed Pop.
No, it was good stuff. I got to give it to you.
Adam, shut the fuck up. Okay, Jonathan.
All right.
Stop telling the retarded kid to shut up. Just being written up. He told the mentally disabled student to shut the fuck up for trying to spell his name out loud. Fucking idiot.
Oh, fuck.
What? He's an idiot. That's what the
being
term used to be.
stupid.
I read it in the fucking encyclopedia. Okay, well, why don't you read other things in the encyclopedia? Why don't you suck my dick like you never did to your husband so he left? Okay, just go back to
Can I watch Pokemon?
Can we turn the TV on?
Can we turn
Pokemon is
Peppa
on.
Pig on? This is the fucking 5-year-old that loves Peppa Pig
Still 5.
asking you about your
I'm trying to
abortion.
watch Bob the Builder. Can we put the TV on? But it's fucking raining. So it means we can't have recess later. So we should be able to watch videos in class, you fucking bitch.
Fuck.
No, we can't watch Peppa Pig. Like, she's a bitch.
Yeah, 6. Okay.
Because
I remember-
fuck this bitch.
I remember I had a fucking terrible music teacher who I was like, this guy fucking sucks. But it was clear that he was just a fucking loser. He was just he was going through a divorce. I found out later.
Yeah.
He had a fucking terrible. I was like, why is this guy's hair so stupid? He had the worst wig you've ever seen in your fucking life.
I had a teacher like that in high school who taught government, and he would wear suits, and there was no reason to wear suits. It wasn't a private school. And he was also a magician. So he would we're going to start the class with a magic trick. We're going to do like one magic trick.
Boo.
Yeah. He was the guy.
Jesus
He was the guy I
Christ.
told this story before about who called the retarded kid professor. I told you that there's a retarded kid in the class and be like, who's got the answer to that? You, professor? No? Okay. I told this story, right?
I think so, but still, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and he had this like piece of shit like fucking like a mid '90s Buick Regal with a trunk didn't close, so it was like held shut by a bungee cord. Just fucking like boom, boom, boom. As he like went over, and me and my dad ran into him at the grocery store one time, and he was like wearing some like shitty, not like a nice tracksuit, but that like I don't know what the material is. That real loud fucking
That swooshes.
that swooshy fucking
nylon,
material, tracksuit.
Yeah.
And he had a shopping cart just filled with fucking Velveeta, like mac and cheese.
Dude, a grown ass man, fucking.
And that whole neighborhood is all just like people that have been divorced. It's all like fucking, just shitty. Half of them were like, Section 8 condos, I guess. So he was probably divorced, and he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And like he had this instant reaction when he saw me, where he like didn't know what to hide first. So he was just like, hello.
Just punched you and ran.
Yeah, every part of it was fucking embarrassing.
Jesus Christ.
I had a teacher in middle.
Were there gangs in your guys' high schools?
No. Well,
Really?
there were gangs that were like, fucking bunch of retards going around, like beating people up and shit.
Yeah.
Stealing stuff from them, but not like gangs.
There weren't gangs in my high school. There were kids who were in gangs. There was a gang, in Greektown. They had some gay ass name. It was like some kind of like angels or something, like soldiers or some shit like that.
Stavi's Golden Angels.
Stavi's Golden Angels. No. They were. I don't know. It was just these two Saudi Arabian brothers
Nice.
that like started a gang.
Nice.
And they got arrested for like getting pulled like a traffic stop, and they just like started shooting at the cops. And they just like went on a fucking shooting rampage. There were some shitty gangs in Greektown for a while. Fuck, what were they called? The something soldiers, and they would just beat the shit out of people for no reason.
I was friends with a guy in night school when I was like 15, 16 that was like he was like a Crip or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, and he was actually a nice guy. I liked hanging out with him, especially because he had a car and he would like, give me a ride home. Yeah, which was nice.
And he like make you suck his dick.
Yeah, I would have to suck his dick, to be in the gang.
You gotta suck. You gotta suck dick.
He was just a guy in a blue shirt. He wasn't even a Crip. He just
and so like he was the white guy, and then the rest of them were like black guys.
Oh, the craziest one according to Chappelle.
Yeah. And they would just walk around the mall. I don't know. That was like mostly what they did as a gang. One time they like sort of implicated me in this like robbery. I had to like participate in like robbing this fucking kid. I was just like waiting on a ride home. I don't know. They're gonna like rob this kid. This plan was retarded. It was basically like
it was a bad plan.
Yeah. He was like, not the guy I was friends with, but his friend. He's like, all right, here's what we gonna do. We gonna roll up, and then I gotta talk to him on the phone, but he can't see me, so it's got to be you going to sell him the ecstasy. And I'm like, what the fuck are you? What?
Yeah.
You're telling this guy that I'm going to meet him there, and then you're going to come rob him. Like, I don't understand why you just don't rob him.
Right.
He's like, no, I need you. Like, it has to be you. So I have to go meet this guy in this like field.
and then they're gonna pull a car around,
Jesus.
and, like, back, and so like I meet this guy in this field. I'm like, oh hey, like I'm making a small talk with him. He's got a beer. I'm like, oh, what kind of beer is that? You know, like just trying to be friendly. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Jesus.
And they like back the car. They start like backing the car, and he like right.
Beep.
It's not, but it's like fucking.
but I know
you know,
it's
like the guy
obvious.
turns around. They're like 30, 45 feet away at the end of this like small
Jesus
fielded
Christ.
area. Yeah, and the guy's like looking at the car, like he's he like sees them. And so I'm like,
what is he? Is he asking you questions?
No, I played it where I was like, who the fuck is this? You know?
Oh, interesting.
And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, do you know these people or whatever? Like I just turned it on.
Oh, you're pretty good at crimes.
Yeah. Well, that's why I also asked him what kind of beer it was, so I could take the beer away from him, so he couldn't fucking hit me with it or something.
Mm.
So I was like, I did a couple of smart things.
Yeah. A couple
that's
criminal things.
Yeah, and then so
Was he wearing a wire?
Yeah, he was wearing a wire, and I had
He had
to
a
suck-
fucking wire?
Yeah,
This guy's wearing a fucking wire.
yeah.
Anyway.
And then so they walk up. They walk up and like walk past us. They just walk past us standing there. Like, and they have like masks on their face, but the kid sees the guy that called him, and he's like, "Yo, Dale."
Jesus
and then
Christ.
they kind of like stop for a second, and then the guy I was friends with was just like, all right, fuck this. And he like pulls out like one of those mini baseball bats, just starts like wailing on the kid's fucking head.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then I just turned to that kid's girlfriend. I'm like, give me the money, I guess. And yeah, we like took their money.
You took the money?
Well, I mean, we came all that way. And they were going to fucking, I was like, I didn't, this wasn't mine.
How much money did you make
$40 is what they got off that kid.
for that guy having literally bleeding in his brain?
They dinged him a couple times, but he ran off. He was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Why the fuck were you implicated? You just hanging out?
I just wanted to ride. I would get rides home from the guy,
Right.
because I didn't want to take the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hang out with him after that?
Yeah, I mean, he still had a car.
Damn, it would have been so easy for you to become a criminal. You were so close.
Well, that's a crime.
Right.
That's like
but I mean,
not-
like,
Yeah.
you were close.
Well, and it was funny because that kid was friends with this other guy I know who's not like a thug or whatever, but he is like physically fit and kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
And that kid like told that other guy that I know, he's like, yeah, these guys robbed me, and like, like said my name or whatever. And he's like, yeah, he wouldn't fucking do that. That's not him. And then so like he found out that it was those like the Crip guys or whatever.
Right.
So he confronted like the head guy, the guy that's like set me up to it. He's like, yo, so this is what I heard happened by this guy. So I'm just letting you know, like, I'm not gonna come looking for you, but if I see you, like, I'm gonna fucking like put you in the hospital. Like,
Jesus
you're gonna be like
Christ.
severely fucked up. You like completely fucked up. You robbed the wrong guy. And this guy was like, man, honestly, I don't want no problems with you. That was entirely Nick. That was 100% Nick's plan. Like,
What?
yeah. So like, that guy like Antron calls me and he's like, this guy's saying it was like you that did it or whatever.
Jesus Christ,
And I was
dude.
like, yeah, no, of course it wasn't me. You know me. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Damn,
But
you were,
yeah.
but if that guy's just
No, that guy was
dumber
just a
person.
complete fucking like coward. He like,
Yeah.
set up this whole fucking plan, didn't want to actually be involved with it.
Right.
But he was like a black guy. You said he was like a Crip or whatever. So the fucking white guy I knew, who was actually kind of like a criminal,
Yeah.
like fucking was enamored by this like black guy
Right.
that was like, you can be in our gang.
Hilarious. That's so
Meanwhile,
funny.
he was like a fucking, he was a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like, every job I had as a teenager, I had this mentality about like, you fuck the employer, we should all be stealing.
Yeah.
And I would just like announce, like, I would steal things from my grocery store job and be like, yeah, of course you steal. Fuck these people.
Right.
And like just getting blank stares from other employees.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they just don't,
No.
like, you don't think that way?
No, and they really truly don't.
Nick,
Yeah.
you're being
They
a
were in the
bad team
Matrix.
member.
I got told on at a
Nuh-uh.
grocery store job. Yeah, some fucking
by
bitch
another underling.
By the guy that was fucking old
cashier
ladies in
fucking
the.
tattled on me.
Jeez.
And the manager liked me too. He was like, did you steal? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, come on. And he's like, I would have bought it for you. I'm like, no, don't
No,
waste
it's not
your
what
money.
it's about, man.
Yeah,
We're
I'm like,
friends.
Yeah, I'm like, it's nothing personal. He's like, we got to fire you. He's like, I called corporate. I tried to do everything I could. We got to fire you over a fucking candy bar.
Hilarious.
Yeah. It's
Was
not
that
even
the
like
same grocery store where the Mexican guy claimed to be having
Oh,
sex in the
yes.
back?
Oh, yeah. They did not fire him for that.
Salute to that man, dude.
Yeah.
Again.